So I really sincerely hope that you gave that a try, because the only way you're going to learn this is through practice. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, what I have is a CH2 and a Br. So that means that's a carbon with 3 things coming off of it. I'm just going to draw this, and that's a carbon right there. Okay, so I'm going to start off, I'm basically starting off with this carbon. Okay? And actually, I actually just want to start off with the carbon and then draw the branches coming off of it. Okay? So that's my carbon. And what is it attached to? Well, it's attached to 2 H's, a Br, but it needs 4 bonds, right? So it's also attached to the stuff that's on the right of all this. So it's attached to all the stuff that's on the right of those 3 things. So that means it's also attached to that. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw that I have H coming off here, H coming off here, and Br coming off here. Does that make sense so far? Cool. Now what I have is that it's attached to something within parentheses. Do you guys remember what is this? A CH2, right? What happens if I have a CH2 and then units after it, a subscript after the units? What does that mean? Well, what it means is that I have repeating units, all in a line, all in a zigzag. So what that means is that I'm going to draw this as CH2, CH2, CH2. Does that make sense? Because of the fact that I told you if you have a CH2 in parentheses and it has a subscript, that means that it's repeating, okay? Now notice one thing about the strategy I'm using. I'm not going straight to bond line. Instead, I'm going to like a Lewis structure, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn this into bond line. If you try to go all in one shot, it gets more confusing that way. So I would say first thing to do is just draw the bonds in, and then we can convert it to bond line. So let's keep going. Now what is that attached to? At the end, that's attached to a C. And now let's go ahead and draw that C. So that C is right there. Okay? Now what are the 4 things that that C is attached to? Well, it's obviously attached to the left side of the chain. Cool. So that means I'm missing 3 bonds. So what else does it have? Well, it has an H, so that's going to be my second bond. And then it also has some weird thing in parentheses. What did I say that means if you have something other than CH2, let's say it's just random thing, inside parentheses that's repeating, what does that mean? It means they're both attached to the same carbon. So what that means is that I have a CH2CH3 attached as my 3rd bond, and I have my CH2CH3 attached as a 4th bond. Okay, so those are my 4 bonds. Let's go ahead and write them in. I have H, then I have CH2CH3, that's my 3rd bond, and then I have CH2CH3, and that's my 4th bond. Cool, right? So I know that it's a little bit tricky, but if we go step by step, it becomes easier. Now that I have this drawn out, it's way easier to go to bond line. All I do is I make the zigzag pattern. So what that means is that I'm going to start off, let's say, with this blue carbon here. Okay? And I'm just going to start going across. So I have CH2, 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 C. And that C is attached to CH2CH3 and CH2CH3. Remember that I don't have to draw H's. So any H that you see, don't draw it unless it's attached to a heteroatom. If it was attached to a heteroatom, then according to bond line rules, I wouldn't write that. Okay? And then finally, I have a Br. And a Br, obviously, I have to draw. There we go. So that is your structure right there. Okay? Now, if you maybe rotated it a little bit different, so let's say that you had drawn, just anticipating what some of you might have done, let's say you drew this going in this direction, that is fine. Remember that single bonds can freely rotate, so it doesn't matter which direction I draw it, as long as it's all connected in the same way. Alright?